about experience. I got my co-host here, Kathy D, April Williams, and myself, Divine Sunshine. Welcome, thank you. Pop a seat in the sandbox, make yourself comfortable at the playground and grab a swing. And so we're going to jump right on into it and look into the Aquarius moon, full moon in Aquarius. We were just singing earlier about the age of Aquarius, trying to get the lyrics together. I think something, I don't know. April was, I didn't know. Did you look up the lyrics or something? Because it felt like it might.
I'm looking them up right now. I just have way too many tabs open. Does anybody else feel like that? Does anybody else?
Yes.
So this actually might be today.
Yeah.
This actually might be today, right? Because the moon is in the seventh house. No, the moon is not in the seventh house. This is what is the seventh house? Astrology specialist Q, our special guest. Next time.
I was working on that. I've been working on that. She said she was busy today, but I'm gonna be working on that. For us when we have these full moons and new moons, I'm gonna have as a correspondent. That's one thing on here to do for astrology. I've already been talking to her, but she said she was busy today. But next time we'll have that, so we have more expertise, so they can kind of give us their understanding about what it is astrology. Because none of that's not in our wheelhouse. None of us that we could read and look at videos and all that stuff, but and we can say what it is the Aquarius is, but like that stuff, that specialty, we have not been blessed with yet. We deal with that, but we know what they are, but not as far as let's read the chart and do this, do that, do that.
No, there's a lot of, it's a mathematics system. It's like a math science combination that has like emotionality to it. So like we flow with it. Well, yeah, because everything has personalities. Like when I learned math, this is probably why I was so good at math, but all the numbers had personalities and styles and relationships with each other. And so does the whole astrological planet sun, planet sun. That's so funny. Planets, like even asteroids and stuff, how they all combine together. So the lyrics of this song are actually pretty trippy. You pulled it up too?
Yeah.
It made me want to like tear up. Like some of it's like right on point. Or all the stuff I read anyway. So it says, when the moon, should I sing it? I feel like singing it. Might as well. When the moon is in the seventh house and Jupiter aligns with Mars, then peace will guide the planets and love will steer the stars. This is the dawning of the age of Aquarius. The age of Aquarius. You guys, you could come in with it. Woo, Aquarius. I don't know if I know how the rest of the song goes unless it follows the same theme. But yeah, harmony and understanding. It jumps around, right? It's totally a trippy song. So that's why I'm like, you want to take the second verse? Do you know it?
It's the 60s. It's all about peace.
They were naked on stage singing.
The golden age. It's all about freedom of expression. It's almost like what we're into now, you know, with things that's going on as well. You know, it's just like life. It just cycles right back around the stuff that we've already been introduced again, but we recycle it and put our own little new twist. But it's the same old thing, same old game. But again, we just put our own outlook to things, and it's still freedom. It's still women's rights again, almost again about women in there showing themselves. It was free to brawl, which we are now as far as us being respected as women. That's still has not left. And again, the expression, because that's kind of gave the 60s kind of gave way into the 70s, which is again the different powers that we have. But it's interesting, like you said, about the age and the dawning that they talk about, and the harmony and the understanding and sympathy and trust abounding. No more falsehoods of derision. What is this? Hold on, get out of here. They talk about Ashley Stewart. What I want to talk about this one. Okay, abounding, no more.
That wasn't in the actual song, so we won't be.
Right. I think we got a big fat ad right there in crystal revelations, and the mind's true liberation, Aquarius, Aquarius. Well, we know what Aquarius is, again, is outside of the box, flow for humanitarianism. Is there anybody else around this period? It's like your words, you got lost for words, like you can't find the words. This is what's definitely going on right now. I don't know what that is, but again, that is it. Where's my little cheat sheet I got for my? Hold on a second. Let's see what Aquarius is. Where's my cheat sheet that I have? And you did ask about the houses, didn't you? Ta 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 ta
Mm-hmm.
ta 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 ta. Okay, hold on.
What's really cool about this song is like it's almost like at the end I think Let the Sunshine In is
Yeah,
instructional,
right.
right? I was actually walking around feeling my skin in the sun, feeling myself present and connecting, right? And it's healing, it's very healing. Now, overexposure, when you haven't like properly taken care of yourself and your immune system, you feel yourself being able to really connect with your crystalline system, your crystalline structure. And so we are now aligning into this higher level of consciousness that we are. It's kind of like a clicking. It's a big giant. Um, it's very beautiful. It's like a ticking clocking system that has a lot of sacred geometry. It flows together like a well orchestrated like machine, but these cycles of time and this rhythm that not only programs ourselves but allows us to live in divinity in this form on this planet at this time, it can be used to harmonize like all of our frequencies. Those of us watching, those of us, that's why we do the show, right? We're coming together in this golden age. Like I'm in full excitement and channel mode, you guys. I feel very excited. But letting the sunshine in, I was thinking that if everyone just had a chance to be in their body without trauma, especially women, children, men, feeling safe in their ability to be in their inner child and sweetness, you know, where, I mean, what the world has built for the constructs of who we are as humans is no longer the society has built. Did I say world has built? I meant society has built for identities is no longer fitting, even the earth herself, right? Because we who value like our man-made things like science, because science is a man-made creation, right? We have attempted to put that above nature or is separate from nature, but really all it's doing is studying life and studying nature. And that means that we're in harmony with ourselves. We're just, some people just don't necessarily have the greatest interpretation of that. Like, the only thing, I'm just so happy. Just so I feel it. I feel that rise of our consciousness coming. However, we're still sloughing off all the gnarly stuff, and that's what this little section of retrogrades is. So I want to be able to share this piece. I want to be able to share this not loving and knowing in my now. And I know I don't always feel it or hold its full vibration because I too have a human form. And at this time, most things with human forms, maybe most things on this earth have had trauma. And so we're integrating and healing that trauma because you can't change the past, but you can allow now to be different and the future to be different. And our children and their children and the children's children to have a much fuller, more balanced and enjoyable world. So we're just getting rid of all the gnarly stuff. So like the earth, I feel like is doing a little detox, or like what's the when you cook a pot of beans or even like bones or whatever, you get that scum that comes up. We're now just kind of clearing that out. And those who have been doing the work, I feel like we're all about to feel that high, but it's the people who are still focused on the I that are having the hardest time letting go of what they're seeing in order to feel what the earth is experiencing. And once we get into flow with what the earth is experiencing, we start acting more appropriately, making wiser decisions. We start looking globally and altruistically as opposed to on that individual point. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay. Excuse me. That was very intense for me. That was like, speak through me, but like, oh, you guys, 2022 is going to be amazing. 2022. But even though, well, okay, I like there, okay, yes.
Okay.
You-
Okay. All right. I did look and see. And what everything you say, it is amazing, and I've seen kind of like across the board. Everybody's been saying we're going through a butterfly phase. Everybody, I like to look for trends. So what you're saying right there, the sloughing off, which is that we've gone through all this 2020 and 2021 is us kind of gathering, just like us coming into the worm phase, and then now all of a sudden now we're coming to the point where we are getting ready to, right now we're just melting down. It's a lot of us saying all through this time period now is a transition point of, we really are not exactly at the point of knowing who we are as far as in our development. We're still finding out who we are as far as our in our identity. And this is not like a time that we can really rely on outside people or anything like that to kind of help us, to really help us to truly identify what is going on with us. This is really something that we've got to kind of fine tune and kind of find our way to say, ooh, it's almost like trying on new clothes. You look at it and say, yeah, this, but it makes my breast look big. I don't know about that. Oh, yeah, this, but it situates my little tummy. I need something to hide that. I don't like that. Oh, yeah. So, you're trying on different things and say, oh, yeah, I like this, but it makes me got a little bit too much extra bravado when I express myself into the world. So I don't know if I like that person. Okay, next, try this on again. Okay, this one is a little too meek. I don't like this. This ain't really kind of me. So you're almost like the three little bears. You're trying on until you say, oh, and now this one is just right. So, they're bringing to me, be patient with you as you're going through that, finding from one chair, too hard, too soft, just right. If you find yourself moving from one thing to another stage, as far as finding you, as far as what you want to do, as far as who you want to show up in the world as being, really get to that point of really revealing and feeling now. I think now at this point where we are a little bit more sure footed as to before we were dipping our toe. But I think a couple of us is kind of like, no, I'm gonna submerge the whole 2 feet in the water. And okay, all right, because I know like when I went on a trip one time into the ocean and me being short, it's real easy for me to go kind of under that water. And I was like, okay, I take a little step. Okay, the winds and the waves was kind of pushing me. I took another step. Okay, I think I can do it. It's that's the way. It's like, okay, it's step by step, but I know what direction I kind of want to go into. But again, it's a process, and I think again we have to be very patient with ourselves. If we find ourselves maybe midstream turning, I can see some of us like, okay, turning, okay, I'm going this way now. It's like, well, wait a second, I thought we were going to be this today, or I thought we really set up we were going to do this. So we're still kind of like moving pieces and puzzles to ourselves to really see before we really reveal who we are as a beautiful butterfly. And this might not come until the end of the, it's showing me it's in November, December, end of the year. And like you said, by next year is going to be wonderful as well. And that's what we're building on. Things have been telling me about, again, it's about intentionality. And as far as where we want to be next year is really making sure that everything we're doing is with intentionality and being loyal. That's the word of the day. This is loyalty. Who are you loyal to? Loyal to yourself, you're loyal to your cause, loyal to commitment, loyal to what you're saying is really aligning to who you are. So the word in the neighborhoods is loyalty. And that's what we're doing. Back to what you were saying about the seventh house. I forgot I got cheat sheets for everything. Seventh house is friends, partners, marriage, individuality, relationships, contracts, partnerships, lower courts, and law. That is the seventh house of areas of life experiences. So when the moon, so moon we know represents what is emotions. We know by intuition is an awareness, and we talk about Jupiter's is what is by gifts and luck, all those things aligning and coming together. So it's really about right now, these times, it's also about these connections and relationships, is these contracts as well. What are we signing up for? What are we agreeing to? That's why I say it's about loyalty. Like, who are we really truly being loyal to? That's what's bringing being brought to me. When you're talking about Aquarius, let's look on my cheat sheet again. They say
It's a social one.
right,
It's about the collective,
right,
and it's the best for everybody.
right,
And so it's you can either kind of look at it like this, because we're doing retrograde, like Saturn is this ruler, he's this authoritarian type, right? And if Aquarius is, or Saturn is retrograde in Aquarius, it's going backwards and looking and seeing and rising to the surface all the things that are total bullshit that
right.
need to be cleaned out.
Okay.
And so then once it starts going back forward, it starts saying, okay, now how do we clean this up and make it permanent for everyone? Right. So the reason our world is so tumultuous within our society is because we haven't really harmonized, right? We've been at real disharmony. And so how you come back into harmony is you get rid of that dissonant note. And the dissonant note is like terror or traumas that are especially avoidable, and we're going to enter into this really sensuous like love it's like it's like Aquarius, and it's I and it's ideal. Is it ideal to have that sensual, passionate like connection, like real intimacy, whether it be romantic or platonic, um, true like when you involve yourself with the thing that you really enjoy doing, like when you're having a tantric type experience. They often think of tantra as sex, but it can actually be used across the spectrum of how you view your life, how you enjoy being in your body and your senses and your experiences. But Aquarius, for all of us, right, to be in that luxury, to be in that passion, that sensuality, each in our own individual ways. So as along with the loyalty and the like, finding the pathways and the soul families and the connecting of and healing from the familial traumas, you're also reconnecting with yourself, understanding your true intuition, knowing how your I really loved it. Someone said it wasn't boundaries, it was for relationships. It was, oh man, it's going to come to me. Give me a minute and I'll remember what it is. But instead of using the word boundaries, right, because boundaries has this really harsh connotation to it.
Okay.
She said as personal agreements between yourself and the other, right, in any and all relationships.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Good. That goes back to what they're saying about the seventh house being contracts, and that's what I was kind of picking up too as well. Yeah. Yeah. So Aquarius energies is altruistic, friendly, humanitarian, inventive, individualist, intellectual, inventive, logical, perceptive, rebellious, unique, and unpredictable. And their shadow side and visionary. And side is eccentric, erratic, impersonal, and rebel.
That sounds about right. That sounds like totally me with a T. It's like my birthday season. I'm like, that totally makes so much sense.
Yeah, so that is what it is. So again, something about us wanting to rebel again. I call it a rebel without a cause, and that's why we have to make sure that when we're doing that, if you're saying about the Aquarius and it's being in Saturn, Saturn is like that. I call it the
In retrograde in Saturn now.
right,
That's the key. It's crazy right now. So when you say without a cause, it's like it's got no cause because it has all the causes.
Right.
There's no discernment really. It's just like, yeah, everybody, all the things, you know?
Right.
And those of us who are doing the work are able to slow down enough to say, okay, let's organize this. Because there's a lot of stuff.
I feel for the ones that ain't put it in. They didn't put in the work because they spinning like a top. They spin it like what the hell? You know, we like, okay, we've been here before. Cause you know, I didn't know that until I started posting stuff on the community board. Like, damn, they like, you know, we was already had this full moon in Aquarius already. I was like, whoop. Like again, what you call it in Infinity War? So slow motion this side, like whoop. Wait a second, you say again. So that means again, it's like we know Kathy D as teachers. If that comes back again, I mean, you didn't pass that test that first time. It's like I'm gonna come right back around again and to make sure that you have all the keys, so you can make sure that when you go to the next level or to the next grade, you truly have this stuff. So it's something about it. Why we getting a repeat lesson on this? It's like we coming back again, back to back again, full moons in Aquarius. It's like really we got to really study this stuff and understand why we rebelling against things. And if, like you say, all these causes, what is it that why we are causing? Maybe we need to kind of rethink. Maybe some of these causes we need to kind of lay down, lay our burdens down by the riverside and let it just float on. you're doing, you're taking on too many causes. And I think that's true even with myself. Even finding that out is like, okay, hold on a second, which cause are we going to do? I think that's again, let's master it at what we do know as far as if we're going to rebel, let's do that well, but not just have 50 million different causes that find ourselves tan in the wind about. So that's
I,
interesting. What's happening, Kathy D? What you think?
I think that we were talking about the organization, and once we've done all the work, and I think the organization looks different for everybody depending on what your kind of mode of operation was before. If you were a people pleaser,
Mm,
um, that organization then can really look like rebellion because you're like, You're gone, you're gone, you're gone." It's kind of like the Queen of Hearts, off with their head, off with their head, off with their head.
okay,
Because it's just like, I'm not putting up with that anymore. No, 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 no. What you done for me lately? Nope, goodbye. You
right,
know. And so I think that everybody's organization is going to look different, especially on where you are on the path. If you're just starting now, you're going through these things, and you're kind of just like you were talking about the ocean. You're just kind of tiptoeing in. You don't want to get knocked over, but you're kind of feeling your way through, kind of looking in those six hefty bags to see what you've been dragging around behind you all your life. And then when you're getting down to the bottom of, two bags, you know, then you're just like, have I worn it in a year? No, throw it out. Do I need it? No, throw it out. Um, you know, is this of any use to me? No, throw it out. What's that one? The one lady that does it. Do I need it? Do I love it? Whatever she tells you to hold it, and if you
right,
don't have an attachment to it, throw it out.
uh-huh,
So I think depending on where we are in our journey of healing is kind of where we are. Some are very methodical on that organization. We've got those are the ones that have we have the keep pile, we have the donate pile, we have the sell pile, we have the throwaway pile, and we know that the keep pile and the sell pile and donation pile can all somehow get mingled together, and we just throw it in another bag
mm-hmm,
and then later on go back through it. But once you've gotten those down where you've gotten minimal bags that you're dragging with you, and you're making room for the next thing coming on, it can look very rebellious to people on the outside, but seem very organized and methodical to us.
right, true,
So I think that's the thing, is like what people on the outside are seeing when we stand up for ourselves and we say, in the mornings, hey, can somebody else in this house let the dog out other than me? You know, is there someone else here that can like empty a lunchbox?
right,
Why am I the only one that knows how the dishwasher works?
mm-hmm,
Where before it would have been like, well, I've got it. Don't worry about it. I'll just, because I know how I want it and thank you. Now it's like, what did you not know? Here, let's go through this lesson. Let me show you. You pull the rack out, you put dishes in. I don't, and now it's like, it's not all of those methodical that everything has to be lined up this way and everything has to be, no. Get the dishes in there. They're going to wash. They'll be clean. Just don't have them overlap. Rinse them out so there's no crud in them. Put them in there. I don't want you to wash them beforehand. Just rinse them out, throw them in there, start the dishwasher, put the soap in. So I think it's releasing that control, especially when we've been people pleasers, and so it looks very harsh and chaotic to the outside world, but it's very freeing and organized to us because it's like these are all the things we've been wanting to ask for literally years, and
Mhm.
finally just stepped up and said, yeah, no, somebody else can take the dog out. Somebody else can. How many other adults live in this house? And then it's like, I look at my house and I'm like, where did I fail? You come here. Let me show you how the vacuum works. Plug it in. And not just the center of the room. And so before, where it would be, I'd get aggravated and make them do it again, and then I'd be like, I'll just do it. Never mind. Now I just stand there and make them do it again, and do it again, and do it again. Then I sit on the couch and I watch them do it again, and do it again, and do it again, because I wasn't doing them any good by me, taking it from them, and that's what they wanted me to do.
Yeah, I think also I've felt that vibe too of it is a really checking out because I'm getting really pulled to the sign of Aquarius, the symbolism or whatever it is. And for years I always thought that Aquarius, I don't know, maybe that's me. I was today years old when I thought Aquarius was a water sign until I found out because it's actually air. So I've been on that. I'm just using that. So I can hear somebody, really? Like, no, I know it now. But it was really something that, because it was very it has a duality in it. Why
Mhm.
is it that you're air sign but you are a water bearer and you're pouring out water all over? And so I did not make that understanding of, right. I know, right. I did not make that understanding. And I think going back to what Kathy D saying about this people please that, you being a humanitarian too. But again, as far as you being a humanitarian, too much to a point that I'm trying to please you, like Oprah Winfrey, which he is Aquarius. You get a car, and you get a car, and you get a piece of me, and you get a piece of me, and you get a piece of me, and you get a piece. And it's like, okay, what I got left for myself? Nothing. And so again, you have to, again, that's another thing that maybe that this time is making you to go back and look at to it. I know what it is, Aquarius, again, is to pour humanitarian, like I'm pouring into information, I'm pouring into spirituality into each person. And maybe again, like Kathy D say, through these lessons of saying, no, you learn how to vacuum yourself. Here, I'm giving you the vacuum, I'm gonna plug it in, I'm gonna model it for a couple of times, and then I want to see you doing. That's like again that thing of, I'm gonna give you a fish. If I give you a fish today, you eat for today. But if I teach you how to fish, you're gonna eat for life. So that's still me pouring in spirituality. That's still me being rebellious, saying, no, I'm not doing this crap no more. You got to find out how to do the vacuum yourself. And so that is again how we're going back to realign and saying, how has it been that we have been too overpouring our things, which is our spirit, into people that don't need to eventually be having that piece of us to the end of the day. It's like, I ain't got nothing for me. What? There's nothing in here no more. What you want to say, April? Because I see you was chomping at the bit to say something. Till I
Oh,
got
so the water bearer being air, right? So water.
no.
I'm sorry. I got a call. Right? Water being air. Water is emotion, right? And so anything connotative with emotion, but air being the mind, being consciousness, being conspiracy, right? Because conspiracy means, I love the breakdown of words because it actually helps you understand the concept a whole lot deeper, right? Because our language isn't the first language. This isn't the first moment of now, of human, of existence, of ideas, of consciousness, right? So you want to look at it from as many perspectives as possible so you can actually truly integrate your experience from whatever perspective seems true to you. So, conspiracy, spirit, con means with, and spirit means to breathe, right? So it means to breathe with that consciousness, that air, an idea that can pour out emotion, right? So in retrograde or in any, wherever your aspect, whatever you have in Aquarius, wherever those spaces are, that is where you can carry a lot of your emotion or
Mm-hmm.
seeming emotion, depending on what sign and what house and stuff. I'm still like learning the nuances of stuff, but that's what's beautiful about it, right? Because if you know about it, then you can say, how does this affect me truly, right? How does what this person telling me or what I'm being told, it can be playing with my emotions, right? It can make these things come out. But what really is the vessel? Because the vessel isn't the emotion. The Because Aquarius is carrying something, and he's not just carrying water by itself. He has the water bearer. He has the vessel, so he can. You can change the emotion. You can change what is being carried. And so I find a lot of Aquariuses have that kind of energy or air about them, where they can be very passionate, but they can also be very vessel, where they are just like a container for hearing and understanding you. So it's a very interesting like play right now, because you as a conscious being understanding yourself and knowing, you can let your heart speak, because you're, I feel like, or what I experience, and you guys could tell me about if you experience this or not. Your emotions don't really dictate what your heart truly is calling, but your mind is constantly to make sense of your emotions,
Mm-hmm.
right? So because it's constantly trying to contain and make sense of it, it can um, distract you or build walls, or all these different things that make you shut down or miscommunicate with the heart, right? It's it's a very interesting dynamic, and all of your chakras work interdynamically. But the main things that we're working on is the divine feminine rises. This divine feminine comes into herself, which means all feminine energy gets to be protected and understood, and like, because children are an aspect of the feminine energy because they're straight from that, you know. So these, as the feminine chakras turn on, and they get stronger every year, right? Because we float into these. We are forced into a change for the betterment, you
Mm-hmm.
know, or we're kind of forced off the playing field, and the energy gets recycled, right? That's why a lot of people take the time to go into hermit mode and to take this time to like assess, right? Because they're letting themselves heal, and that, and hopefully not distracting themselves or numbing themselves out so much that they're not opening themselves to healing, um, from many different sources. Which for me right now, I just want to say, whoop whoop, Kathy D is offering some healing services. Aren't you a woman? Let's talk about that for a hot minute and define feminine support while I go check on my child.
That's a nice segue.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of started throwing out stuff on social media. I went live for the first time on Facebook and on Instagram today, and just kind of starting to get everybody ready for the unveiling of the Princess and Queens um, workshop and course. So I'm excited about that. But then too, as April was talking about the chakras and getting them in line, I think too this double moon is a wonderful time to, if you have an opportunity to, is to do some Reiki. Um, because the wonderful thing about that universal energy is it goes wherever it's needed. It's not like we're not really controlling it. And those of us that do Reiki as Reiki masters, we're we're only a conduit. The energy comes through us. It's not our energy. We're not putting it in certain places. Yes, if you have a need or a concern, and or you want to do inner child work and stuff, we can kind of send it that way. But ultimately, Reiki is going, the energy is going to, once you give it permission in your body, is going to go where it is needed the most and at that time. And there's also some, you can do some pretty deep soul cleansing with that as well. And it's been um, quite fascinating. I thought for a long time that, oh, all my chakras must be blocked beyond means. And then as I've gone through, a daily thing of getting used to doing the alignment on myself with the Reiki, it's, they're not blocked and they're not there. And I've noticed a really big change, not just with, working on the program and everything, but then also just the whole dynamics behind the Reiki with the I won't be mad today, I won't worry today, I'll be grateful for what I have. I'll, I will do my work to my diligence and best, and I will treat, all living things with care and respect. Um, Repeating those as you meditate is an amazing way that when you start to, worry or you start to get aggravated, you stop and you're like, wait a minute, I'm not going to let this get to me. And so it's been a real eye opener with all of that.
Yeah. Oh, I thought April had something to say.
Oh no. I mean, it just feels yummy, everything she's saying, right? Like, and her, she still does, are you incorporating the hypnosis? I mean, the sound of your voice, and I felt like she was programming me right there. I was like, yes.
Part of that's my stuffed up nose. Sorry. So you kind of get a little hint of what I guess my Reiki or my hypnotic voice smells like. Uh,
Well,
Don't,
see, they work hand in hand,
they
right?
do.
Because a person needs to allow themselves to open up into even the concept of self healing, the concept of spontaneous healing, the concept of their energy bodies. We have been programmed, and we're going to start to see how we've been programmed as we deprogram, right?
Hmm.
Or reprogram ourselves. We've been programmed to deny that aspect of ourselves. And we've been mildly aggressive, I guess, or, subtly traumatized societally to disassociate from the body.
Hmm.
And so, as we learn to stop leaving our body, because we're not stopping functioning, but we're leaving our bodies,
mm,
right? And so, we're going to start to see that as we start to stay in body, we're going to have less of these conflicts externally because we're being present, we're hearing, we're understanding, and we're responding versus reacting now as a collective. And one way to really get in line with that is courses like Kathy D's. And where can we find that information? Where can we sign up?
It's going to start rolling out. It's on mastermind.com.
oh,
And all the information will be also on pineapplefishlifecoaching.com. So you can find the link there.
Okay, I'm excited because this is a deep, deep healing. Like our women, our women. Like I'm not. What lifetime? Where am I? Cross bodies.
yes.
I'm in my divine masculine self, protecting my woman, Kathy D.
My woman.
I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna help get you ready, cowpoke. I don't know where that's. I don't know what's up with that,
I
but
felt like we were
anyway.
not to me. I seen us surrounding the circle. It was our women.
Let me wrangle up these divine females and get them real nice and strong and ready to go back out there.
I don't know where you at. That ain't what I saw. I seen us like warriors, and we having our little sticks there, staff.
Warriors, huh? Somebody brought some warriors and some
We
protection
done
for,
the same thing. Like doing like Patricia McNeely.
Mhm. He
Yeah,
is. He
yeah,
is.
yeah. So
You are
no,
so right.
it is so needed.
It's t-
I see
yes.
so many people coming out with like the programs, and really it's being put on the heart. I'm not. I'm now. I'm almost doing the April where I'm spinning my wheels and saying, okay, I want to do this, and then it came together. But anyway, that's a whole different story. It will come together. I know how to pull it together, but. These programs, everybody, and I mean everybody that's even right here that's coming out with something because we can tell it's something that we need to kind of help you all like track it's in the universe to do that. And I like how even because I'm in Kate Moon's class too about mirrors
Ooh.
too as well. And so it's all about when you collectively are working together as a group, how it intensifies the healing. Well, that's already biblical where it says, "If two or more gather in name, I will be in the midst of it." So again, how it is, and it's scientifically proved that when you work together, more healing happens as well too. So if you one of the mind things that you need that Jedi mind tricks thing, it's good for you to go into courses like that, Kathy D. We know that when we did the Sunshine Circle, how it helped us all together and we ascend together. And so it's almost like a flock of geese. So this is something that's really most needed. What Kathy D is showing you, how it's almost unprogramming yourself from childhood and this fairy tale and these ideologies and these paradigm shifts that you are making as far as you this imagery about love, because we still have that. And I seen that who's was that oh, that's because you and I get her paper, Twin Flame 1111, Cassidy, where she was saying
Hmm.
we still are trying to, and I said that too on the show, where we're still trying to do twin flames or divine loves by using regular relationships to help us as into this relationship. And that's the same thing where we have somebody's going to come in and save us. It's you got to kiss a lot of frogs before you get your prince, and someday your prince will come. And mirror, mirror on the wall. So again, all these things like that, they helps to kind of debunk all of that programming that you have that's happening with you through fairy tales that you don't know, that underlying subscript is still playing out. You're still waiting on, you still feel like you sleeping beauty getting ready to wake up. You still feel like again Rapunzel letting your hair down and waiting for him to climb up there in your tower that you had built way up there. So all those stuff, I don't know if that's in there. I'm just maybe I'm revealing the program. But anyway, so that's all. I'm channeling Kathy D. I seen her program. Don't let her know this. But anyway, so much is that.
Well, the funny thing is with those old fairy tales, like we're talking about,
Uh,
we had the Disney-fied version of them where everybody lived happily ever after. And there's a scene in the movie. It's a Barbara Streisand movie. It's called The Mirror Has Two Faces, and she plays an English professor and talks about love. And she starts talking about we don't see at the end of Cinderella that the prince is, Cinderella's driving the prince crazy and all these different things. And why do we do it? And why do we want it? And why do we want this happily ever after? And her exact words were, she says, because in the end, it's just fucking amazing. And that's really, we still hold on to that
yeah.
whole idea of my prince is going to come. But then when you look at the real fairy tales, the Grimm's brothers and the ones before that, actually Rapunzel got out of the tower by herself.
What? He don't climb up
She
there?
actually did. She found magic beans. Okay, so talk about merging some stories there. She
Uh,
found magic beans of the witch that had her in the tower. She used the magic beans to make some kind of ladder apparatus. She climbed down. She had a horse that she had been talking to, and then met up with the prince. He didn't even make it there to get her out of the tower. She caught up with him later.
we been bamboozled. No.
Hmm. Yeah, Rapunzel was and used the beans to actually destroy the witch.
So they ain't want us to know we can save ourselves, women. That's why I
Yep, he'd saved
And
herself, and she didn't have to cut her hair either.
sure didn't.
Mm-mm, nope, she
Uh,
kept her long hair. She, I guess, just threw it up. They never really said, what she did with it, but her hair was never cut, and she just got rid of the witch that's referred to with the magic beans. So, you
wow.
know, they all ran, kind of rode off into the sunset by themselves. Most of them did, if unfortunately, like some of them, like Sleeping Beauty, actually died in the end. But so and Snow White turned into a sex slave, but that's a whole nother story, and that's quite interesting too. Yeah, the stories are
They're
not.
not so white. Oh,
Yeah, they're not so. Yeah, Disney cleaned them up big time.
and the draw she was doing, she was letting the draws run a train. No, stay be quiet.
and I want to say, as the light comes crashing down, that I will be coming out with all of my promises. It's just
Okay.
the seeds have been planted, and I'm watering. But
Okay.
when they grow, you
Okay.
best believe you
Okay.
better watch out,
Okay.
because these are some magic beans, baby.
All right.
She did. She could throw those beans too. She threw them. They worked like bombs, and they blew up the witch. So,
That sounds about right for a bean. Anybody else?
Yes, that's true. That is so true. That is so true. What you say? Ariel turned into seafoam. Yeah.
she did. She didn't get her legs. She did not get Prince Eric. She turned into Seafoam. Hmm.
Oh
It
no.
was also super sad too. Didn't she like try to kill herself or something?
I don't know. I know
That
the
was
Seafoam part was part of it. I know at the end she just became Seafoam. She just was nothing.
Man,
and
I don't.
so once you give your voice away, guess what?
Oh,
Yep.
Get it together. We believe in you, you know. That's the whole point of the divine feminine time, right? Is to divinely rise with your voice, with your power, with your creativity, with your connection, because that going within is how you're really going to find your joy. And
true.
your joy and your is going to lead you into your passion. And that passion is what's going to like sustain the world.
Hmm.
Right.
And that's so
Those
true because what you don't think is your joy or what you're planning on, what your mission. And for those of you that are new on this, trust me, we have flipped through submissions, have we not, ladies?
Oh yeah.
We have flipped through submissions on what we were supposed to do, but you know what? When it comes from a unselfish, non egotistical point, kind of like the Reiki. I mean, I learned it and I went and I did it because I couldn't find anybody in Indiana that could do it for my mom and for my sister Tammy, and I knew they needed it. And so I did it for them, not ever planning on doing anything with it, not expecting to have literally my family line up for me to do it on them. And Tammy even put in here, yeah, I did it on her 16-year-old poodle. And the dog was always getting up 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, having to go to the bathroom, having to go to the bathroom. Ever since I did Reiki on the dog, she slept through the night. But it's not anything I ever planned on doing as per se my mission. I
Right.
just let it find me,
Yes.
and it is so rewarding. And I'm going to tell you, this is one of the reasons I say if you can find somebody that does this, um, most definitely, or look me up, send me an email, whatever, we can do something. But learning to one of the neat things about it is because time is fluid, you can send that healing energy to the past to heal hurts and things like that. It's not going to change the outcome. It doesn't change time, it doesn't change the outcome, but it changes the pain that you're dragging with you down that timeline. You can also send it to future events. And so, it's wonderful. It's like tonight, I my DM son is playing football and he has a bad shoulder and kind of hurt his back years ago wrestling. And I didn't have his permission because you have to have their permission to do Reiki on him. But I didn't have his permission, but I can cover a team for protection. So instead of just working on one person, I just meditated and covered the whole entire football team with protection and
Mm,
that energy, that everything would be to the highest good, that they would run like they should, that there wouldn't be the injuries, that there were. And you know what, that is such a fulfilling thing to be able to do, to be able just to send that, and it's not even me sending it, it's that life energy that I can, draw up and send to. It's not affecting any of my energy. I'm not drained after I do it. It just feels so good to share that
mm,
other people need that in their lives. And if you think Reiki is not something that's real, um, look up all the amazing benefits of it. There are ways to treat epilepsy. There's ways to treat um, congestive heart failure, heart disease, and then you take those things and that Reiki and that touch and lack of touch. You don't actually really. I mean, it's a choice of the master on whether they want to touch or they don't.
mm-hmm.
But you can add in while you're doing that. Um, the lymph node drainage massage or a facial, as you do that and rejuvenate while helping heal, inner trauma and stuff, because we hold all those things in our body in
Yes.
so many places. And April taught me that, and that was like probably one of the first times I ever worked with April, was just so eye opening that I had an entity, I think she told me, behind my one ear. And that was so, and she got rid of it. But as I've gone through it, now I've learned that in this area, when you're doing Reiki, this is your past life chakra out here. And so, how fascinating that it was behind my ear in that area that was keeping me from remembering so much that had happened before. It's just it's an amazing thing as you open up and you let the universe guide you, and you just really go with that flow. You don't fight it, and you just enjoy it, and it becomes such a rush to see so many people. I mean, my tagline always has been wishing you your best life ever. And that really now has become truly a passion, if it's through helping people find their business niche, or helping people find their voice with this new course, or just helping people find peace and ease, um just having the best life. Because who doesn't want the best life? God didn't. And it's all in who you believe in and whatever, but my belief is, it's God, and he didn't put us here to be miserable. Why we wouldn't? It would be like having children and saying, all right, I've had you, I hope you are miserable the rest of your life. you know you don't want that. You want your kids to have the best life. I mean, I even if I had an amazing life, I would want my children's lives to be even more amazing.
Mm-hmm.
We want the best for that next generation. And even if you don't have kids, for your nieces, for your nephews, you always
Right.
want that next generation to have better. So why wouldn't our creator want that? And that's where we need to go. And that's where, when we take that mindset of, well, this always happens to me. My mom used to call it Eeyore. You just kind of, well, that's just the way it goes. And when you get out of that, and you see that there's always a choice. It might not be a comfortable choice, and it might not be a choice we like, but there's always a choice. There's always a way.
Mm-hmm.
And once you get into that mindset and you start seeing those things, and you start seeing how you can help people, it's like you have to contain yourself, not to be running up to people and going, hey, I can help you. I see what's going on, and I can
Yeah.
help. I understand. I can feel. I can feel. And it's not, I mean, part of it is the empathy, but part of it, and being an empath, but then part of it is just that, having not just your seeing eyes, but that third eye open, and seeing, some people's discomfort, and seeing people's bewilderment. It's not always pain. It's sometimes they're just lost and they just don't know where to go. And seeing that and feeling that, and you have to, you're holding yourself back in Walmart. You want to go up to a lady and go, really, you don't want to touch that. You don't want that. You want, and you can't, because they haven't asked for that help. But you just want to just pass it on, and you just want to share it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I like how
I
you said,
did. And Teresa, I unplugged her pain pump with Reiki. She had a blockage in it. And I said, I don't know if it'll work or not. I mean, it was new to me. I mean, I literally got it just for her and for mom. And so, I did the hand thing, and I'm like, let's see what we get here. I mean, they knew they were my crash test dummies. And as I went down her back, and I hit right to that spot, and she went, oh, as I went, whoa. And I mean, it was right there. And but like I said, that was never anything I ever thought I would go into or have a ability to do.
yeah. And
But
that's
when
and
you
that's
let the universe and God guide you.
and that's why, and I'll turn it over to April. That's what I want to say about also. It's just like, if you just find yourself floating, I mean, just be open and receptive to wherever life takes you, just like the stream and the flow. It will take you to where you need to actually be. And that's interesting you say about Reiki. That's me. I didn't think I would be. I do something almost similar to what she does
Hmm.
there too, is with the MAT, with this the metaphysical anatomy technique, where you go in there and it's
Hmm.
the different traumas and the pains that are in your body, and you go in there and you flush it out and see is it also attached to a person, all those different kind of things like that. And like you said, I never would have thought, and I met wonderful people. They even helped me when my dog had passed away, using the gifts and the exchanging, and she was helping me to know what she was saying that she was passing over. I mean, it's just like I never would have thought these people over in England, I'm making friends, and how it just, if you just open yourself to the miraculous awe and splendor of life and where it takes you, you never know where you end up being. Okay, April, I'll give it to you.
These are all wonderful. You guys are helping me, helping me just by being, right? So, as what I'm hearing through all of this, because we're all able, we all have these innate abilities. And what's beautiful about Reiki is kind of like if you understand Chi, or if you think about God as everything, or if you think about the universe or Allah as everything else other than you start to understand there's a charge between the two, right? There's an electricity, there's a sweetness, a juiciness, a path for us to channel in these abilities and these gifts and these skills. And when we provide ourselves with a sense of safety, provide ourselves with a sense of security, we can then let ourselves open up and relax into our gifts and our sensitivities. And some of us carry the sensitivity as like a weapon or a guard or something that should be kind of pushed away or hidden. But really, it's all part of the experience. And that's the beauty of the age of Aquarius, right? We're all shifting into this. And I'm so proud of you for showing up and being there and awakening others to the energy, which means they themselves can now. Excuse me. I remember our first session was absolutely beautiful. And I'm like, and your gifts are the following, right?
And I
And
was
I tell
like,
her,
huh?
I don't know about that. But then she flew in, she sat back into it. And what's nice is once you finally let your mind stop being in control and you open into the heart and you use that as your key to really get into um, your energy, right? Because there's so much that we carry. There's so much that the earth carries, so much wounding. And it's
Mm-hmm.
not only in our physical lifetimes, but it's in our generational love, blood's lifetime, right? The creation of the creation of the creation of the creation, the separation from the great I am to even become us, right? There's this disconnect from the mother and the father, but now we are reconnecting to the mother and the father. We are reconnecting and even reparenting ourselves and relearning so that we can really appreciate our gifts. And if you want to appreciate your gifts even better, I think we're still doing the playground package, right?
Yes.
Where you can get a session with each of us. We we really do work wonders together, people. We will unlock the heart, mind, and soul of you and get you in key and alignment with your greatest self and flowing with the dynamic of your life. Right? And when you have, I guess, what's the word, friction or angst or pain or that disconnect, right? That triggers, you'll find that you can either become super sensitive to them by avoiding them or start flowing with them and they actually ease up. You'd be surprised, right? You flowing with the energy into just allowing yourself to awaken. I love the Kathy D awakening. I love it because she goes into channel sometimes on the episodes. Like if you go back through our episodes, we have so much wisdom, so much good meditations, all that stuff in there. And she'll go into flow channel mode and she's like turns into this wondrous child, right? And so we all become like Divine Sunshine was saying, in awe and in sheer bliss and connectivity with our divine nature and the possibilities.
Mm-hmm.
And so you getting that within yourself, and if you're watching this far, especially, you know you're on the right path. You know you're in the right place. You know you've got a team here with you. So if you like this, please like it, share it, subscribe it. We just started the new channel. Set an alarm. We'll be here at least by 8 p.m. Eastern. We aim at 8
Seven
at
So
40
8
7:40.
Eastern.
ish.
That,
7:45.
yeah. 8 o'clock Central ish.
It's,
There's an ish on our time.
a lot of ish.
We're very divine feminine in that way,
Right.
but we will
Divine
show up.
time and island.
Well, yeah, it's divine plus island equals. We'll get there.
Right, we'll get there. We'll get there. We'll get there. Don't worry about
We'll
it.
get there and it'll be fabulous. So just hang on. So
Right. Grab a swing, flag down the ice cream truck as you're out there on the playground. We'll be there
Beep,
sometime.
beep, 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 beep.
We'll be there. And that's a nice, beautiful segue. Where's your thing at? If you wanted some good stuff from this lady here, this Hawaiian queen here, April Williams, you can go for madeforgoldenlife.com. What's happening? You got any specials? Anything like that going on? Is it still
Oh, yes.
okay?
So first and foremost, because it's in the world of keeping things absolutely 100% balanced, I'm not okay. So technically, by a small, minute little thing, I am Hawaiian because I carried a Hawaiian, right? So if you carry a child of a certain blood type as a female, you actually incorporate a piece of that DNA in your DNA. But
Okay.
according
that
to
means
the yes, you're all your exes. Congratulations. No, I'm just kidding. Not that all of you are with your exes. Some of you could be like true, tried and true, whatever. Anyway, so I'm not really Hawaiian. So I mean, because there's a big thing about this culture and appropriation and all these things, but we all actually come from the same place, and that place is deep in the heart of the mother continent, which is Africa, where we all came from. But we're all and the seafarers that they had. I mean, if you're looking at tarot, anyway, I'm gonna get off of my little of that. I'm very, very smart. I'm very, very intuitive. I'm allowed by the nature of consciousness and the great I am that I can pierce through your veil and help you clear out and understand yourself on so many levels. And I can teach you how to do that within yourself. And you're going to wake it and have all these awesome gifts and make up amazing. Well, you won't necessarily do programs. Maybe you'll find your like niche, or you'll connect with your lover, and maybe there's all kinds of wonderful things that happen when you work through and open yourself up to clearing your energy, to being embodied, to embracing your humanness. So check out my website. I'm working on some stuff this Sunday for sure at 10:10 Hawaiian Standard Time, which means it's 1 p.m. Pacific, which means it's what is that? 4 p.m. or 10 p.m. Eastern. I'll be doing a spiritual warfare free workshop where you can ask different questions. I can break down to you why you feel the way you feel right now and what's actually happening in terms of your programming, right? So we're going to work on reprogramming, or at least awakening you to reprogramming into the matrix that we're actually set for, because it's heaven on earth. I mean, come on. They gave us songs, they gave us music, they gave us art to keep us in line with the light, because that's what flow with the crystalline energy. But that's not actually in the spiritual warfare like talk. I'm going to start doing other talks and setting this time aside to help spread the consciousness of the more than, right? Your mystery schools, your alternative um, levels of understanding, and how to integrate science and math and all these wonderful, well, not math, I don't go deep into applied calculus or anything, but that would be ridiculous, right? Like, oh, I can explain the biochemistry. I'm a super nerd in the best ways, in the most cosmic of ways. Down the rabbit hole with April. That should be the segment, right? I'm writing it down. Down the rabbit hole. But yeah, so I have a free workshop this Sunday. I'm offering co- I'm offering.
cocktails. What?
She said cocktails, child.
That sounds
Okay.
delicious. Let me get y'all loose. Let me get y'all loose so I could talk to the spirits. All right, here we go. It'll be mailed to your door. Just kidding. But I'm
Coconut will
offering
show
a
up.
coaching program. Yes, a coaching program, and I'm developing a course that you can take on your own time to kind of help you anchor in your connection with your divinity, because you have a connection with your divinity. but anchoring it in and settling the mind and doing the movements and laughters to help you open up into those points that you've been avoiding the pain. Um, anyway, whew, that was a hard one for me, but I love you guys. I've been working so hard to share this with you. So anyway,
You don't know what I've been through to get this to you. No, I'm
real talk. Hashtag real talk on that.
real talk. Yeah, I tapped into your spirit. I heard that. You're like, you just don't know.
It's like, look at the world. I went through all this for your ass.
Right.
Okay.
So you
Least you could do is show up on
you
Sunday.
better show up Sunday. You
On
better
time.
show
Show
up.
up on time.
Club, you better show up. Yeah, so with me, I'm just offering the special for my past life regression sessions. Half off. Usually they're 250, but I'm slashing it to the end of August. I've been instructed to do that for 125, so you can be able to schedule that anytime during the year 2021. Again, helping you to, I hear everybody saying this subscript is again this programming, deprogramming, debunking, whatever, going back in there and to see about how the past is affecting your now and the present. So that is, it comes with answering questions that you have come that we talked about during the interview, and then I'll ask spirit while you're under about what is those answers to those questions that you have that you've been burning about trying to know. Also, it comes with the energy clearing too as well.
Sorry.
That goes with that. And then also that is in this 3 hours, so I need 3 uninterrupted hours for me to be able to do the work with you. Very good things. Sometimes the people don't go all the way back into in China or Egypt or whatever it is, or 1920s. Sometimes we unpack right into this lifetime up into birth all the way up until now. And so it's wherever your higher self said is needed to get the most answers to what's going on in the intentionality for our session is where your higher self or wherever your spiritual guides would take you. So if I was you, I would jump in on it because it's really eye opening to help you to do that as well. I'm going to even get somebody's going to come and give me one. I want to get some answers myself about past life regression. That's how much I believe in it and helping you to unpack. So again, I also said, you know what, that's something that we all need to participate and take advantage of as far as getting a past life regression session to really see about what is it that's why am I doing this? Because a lot of times you think you have the answer, but it's that subscript that's going on all the time underneath there that's blocking you for you to be able to get to that next level. So make sure you go over to divineunisouls.co. Is it on that one? Hold on a second. Wait a second. Is it that one? No, it is not. Do I got the other one up there? Nope. Here it is. This is one. Sorry. Go to AshantiWellnessCenter.com to be able to go there because I forgot they're two different entities. The Divine Unisouls is about the answers through cards, and this one is about you healing yourself. So I have them separate, those separate entities. So go to AshantiWellnessCenter.com. Sorry, to be able to get those answers that you seek about the past and how it's affecting your present. That's it. All right, get us on out of here. I did say, you know
Well,
better.
I just have to say for anybody that has not worked with these two ladies, you absolutely need to. It's absolutely mind blowing to do the either even back when Divine Sunshine was, and I don't know if you're still doing it, the letters from the DM, but
Yeah,
those were absolutely amazing and just the work she does. And I know the course of studies she took for the past life regression is so thorough, so amazing. I mean, you will come out of that without any questions. You'll know exactly what was going on,
you will.
like either in this lifetime or a past lifetime. And then I can't say enough about April. April said to me on our first session that I was going to be working with, these amazing people. And I thought, well, that was pretty nice of her to say about herself and, about Divine Sunshine. And we laughed about it and she'd say, no, big, big names, big names. And I kept saying, yeah, yeah, whatever. Okay. I don't know about this. And like she said, I sat back in it and I still was like, yeah, I don't know about this. And, last weekend I just had a completely, totally immersive setting and situation where I got to spend time and learn from and literally talk with one on one with Tony Robbins and Dean Grisaggio, and the encouragement from them and wanting me to go on with their corporation and do things with them. It was like, oh my gosh, April called it. She pegged that like 2.5 years ago, almost 3 years ago. I mean, so this is not woo woo stuff. This is not,
Yes, that
out there somewhere. This is tried and true. And I mean, yes, there are always people that are out there and they, slip of the hand kind of thing. But both of these ladies are the real deal.
yeah.
And so if you know anybody that needs that, please, please, tell them to log in or to get in touch with one of them, because they will not be sorry.
No.
And with that, make sure you clean up your virtual juice boxes, empty your shoes and socks of all sand from the sandbox, and leave it cleaner than you found it. Make sure you have your own bucket and pail, and we will see you next week at the sandbox.
Stay
Wishing you
blessed.
your best life ever.
Stay blessed. Stay golden. And remember, you were made for this golden life.
And as always, stay uplifted, stay motivated, stay extended. Namaste, namago. Mwah. Love you.